Can we get Spence right?
My man,
Spence, how you feeling, man? Okay. Well, just first though, man, we're a little disappointed that you don't got the black up soon. A little disappointed in that. But when you look at Crawford, man, I mean, he's supposed to be the toughest fight of your career, but how do you kind of prepare for a guy like that? And is there somebody that you fought already that kind of maybe mimics his style a little bit, or not really?
Not really. I mean, when you get into fights like this, and the guy with his caliber and, you know, just how he is and how he fights, you know, you're not going to find anybody who fights like him. You know, it's like Ray Leonard finding somebody who fight like Tom Hearns or vice versa. So, you know, I feel like that's how greatness shows. And come fight night, of course, I'm not going to get anybody to mimic him, but, you know, I feel like that's when my greatness will come out, you know, and his greatness come out. We clash together and we put on a great show, and I feel like people going to talk about this fight 40, 50 years from now, and just like how we talk about Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns, people going to talk about this fight, and you're going to have little kids and little amateur kids watching this fight, but like, man, I want to be in a fight like that. That's how I was when I was a kid, so hopefully we have the same people 40, 50 years from now. I'm an old man, they talking about they want to be like Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. They want to have a fight like that, and they want to get back to those type days. So
Terence, he was interested in a side bet, but he wouldn't give an absolute price. He left it up to you. Make a little side wager on the fight. We see Ryan and Tank do it, but they didn't actually do it.
Yeah.
So, you ready to set the price for this little side bet here?
We did have a side bet, but, you know, to be 100% honest, I gave him that when we was in negotiations to make the fight happen.
How much we talking here?
A lot more than our first bet.
What was the first bet?
Yeah, I know. Y'all seen the video.
$1 million. Okay, so this one's bigger than $1 million, the side bet you guys made in negotiations.
Nah, it wasn't no side bet negotiation. I'm saying to make the fight happen, I gave him a lot more than the side bet. So,
okay.
So,
will there be a side bet on top of the negotiations then?
No, because I gave him a lot more to make the fight happen.
I got you now.
Is a part of you?
Tell us about why.
Because, you know, he's a great fighter. And, you know, I feel like, you know, I'm the truth, so I feel like I'm a truthful guy. And, you know, it's no knock to me. If he's a great fighter, I'm going to call somebody a great fighter. And I'm not going to diminish somebody and be like, man, you suck or you not good. Like, I'm going to give you your credit when credit is due. So,
Errol, you talk about body shots. You were talking about breaking them down. You're one of the best body punchers in the sport. How important is that in this type of fight, fighting a smaller fighter, albeit all-time great fighter?
It's always, to me, it's always important breaking the body down and going to the body first, because I feel like, you know, you break the body down, you know, everything else will fall into place. So for me, that's always been my style to, you know, go to the body, then work the head. I mean, because the head's a smaller target than the body.
Errol, do you feel as though Crawford has stopped everybody at welterweight, but do you feel like that's a little bit overblown? Because you keep telling them you haven't really fought anybody, so do you kind of take that with a grain of salt?
A little bit. I mean, yeah, he stopped everybody, but, you know, I'm not those people that he stopped. I feel like I'm a way better caliber than the guys that he fought. So
I host a show with Chris Algieri. I host a show with Chris Algieri. A message to Chris.
Huh?
I have a message for Chris Algieri. I host a show with him.
Oh, yeah?
He said you're the Terminator.
I was telling Chris Algieri, what's up? Hope we doing well, man. He cooked good too, man. I wish I cooked like him.
Hey, Errol, are you gonna?
Nah, not at all, not at all. I feel like, you know, with social media and, you know, and everything that's going on, you know, you can promote yourself. You got too much stuff. TikTok, you got Instagram, YouTube, you got everything you can log on to promote yourself. It's really if you want to be, you know, that type of guy. So I'm not the guy that just be on YouTube and, you know, post stuff all the time. Once I fight, I'm gone. I'm disappear. I gotta go.
Black Uptown for the weigh. Black Uptown for the weigh-in.
How long have you had you've had for an opponent?
Huh?
Is this the most mutual respect that you've had for an opponent coming into a fight?
Nah. I respect, you know, most of my opponents. So nah, this is not the most. I definitely got a lot of respect for them, but, you know, I had a lot of respect for Sean Porter and Kell Brook and the rest of those guys. It's just you know, when you get on stage with somebody and he talking trash, you know, it's just natural for me to talk back. You know, I'm not got to talk too much, but when somebody talking to me, I'm gonna talk back to you. You know, so you know, but it is a respect there, but it's not overly blown. Because once the bell rings, the respect goes out the door.
You said he's had his eye on you since 2017. How long have you had your eye on him, and did you think this would ever happen?
I had my eye on him once I got the third belt. You know, that was my chance. This is my chance to get the fourth belt, so that's when I had my eye on him. But I ain't had my eye on him in 2017.
Errol, he predominantly he switches. One of the biggest things with him is that he switches from southpaw to orthodox. You are naturally a southpaw. How do you prepare for that, and what gives you such an advantage being a southpaw in this fight?
I want to ask you why you switch.
Switch what?
You know why you switch, and what happened to what was that thing Terence Crawford fought on?
BOK Prime?
Yeah. What happened?
It ain't happening right now.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, you were so Errol Spence, then you once Terence Crawford got with BLK Prime, you flipped.
Errol, I know that you.
Errol, do you believe that your height and your reach is going to be a huge advantage come fight night? Because obviously we can see, you know, we're doing the face-off. You're a little bit taller than him, and a lot of critics say that that's one of the keys to victory due to that.
Nah, I just feel like, you know, it's gonna be a lot of adjustments in fights. I feel like the fight gonna, you know, switch, and you know, it's gonna be back and forth momentum switches and things like that. That's what you get with great fighters. But I feel like I'm just gonna put on a great performance. I feel like the size wouldn't matter because, you know, he looks like, you know, he's right on weight and he's right there. So, you know, people will see we'll probably be, you know, the same size once fight week. So,
After the FaceTime conversation, did you guys realize that no one was ducking each other and that it was an easier fight to make?
Nah, it definitely wasn't an easy fight to make after talking to each other. But you know, it's just, you know, when once you just pride and other things gotta get put to the side for the bigger objective for things to happen. So basically talking to each other and just, you know, hearing the stuff that he wanted and that he needed. You know, I'm a very, you know, rational guy and understanding to do it too. I understood, you know, the stuff that, you know, that he wanted and the stuff that he was asking for, you know, and I couldn't knock him forward. So I was just like, you know, some of the stuff, you know, I just put my pride down and just, you know, let him have it.
Errol, Adrian Broner recently, he picked you to win the fight, and he reflected back on when you guys sparred, and he said one reason he's picking you to win is your skills are underestimated and your footwork is really good. What do you make about Broner's comments, and are we making too much about your size and strength and not, or maybe overlooking the stuff Adrian's talking about?
Yeah, a little bit, but you know, I think it's just gonna come with just my skill set. I feel like my skill set and my ability is gonna really show this fight, and you know, it's not gonna be too much about talent. It's gonna be a lot of nutrition. It's gonna be a
one more question.
You're basically like a sports team. Like both of y'all, people follow y'all like sports teams. Does that like have some added pressure that people are going to be like emotionally affected by the winner and the loser of this fight?
I feel like that's why it's so great, because people definitely gonna be emotionally affected, and people gonna definitely get their emotions in. The people making it, you know, a lot of people make it, especially on social media, they make it way more personal than
families are breaking up.
Yeah, they make it more personal than what it should be.
Is that more pressure for you guys?
Nah, not at all. Nah. That's when greatness happens, man. That's why this is a great fight, because emotions are in it, and when you got a great fight like this or anything, a great event like this, people are gonna get emotional about it. So that's why it's great.
Errol, we a little bit more.
Hold on. Say something. You do one more question.
Me?
Yeah.
You know, the deal. I was actually about
be okay.
No, I was actually about the southpaw stance. You being predominantly a natural southpaw,
yeah.
Him being a fighter that switches from orthodox to southpaw.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for that, and what gives a southpaw such an advantage in the ring?
Well, back then people used to think it gives southpaws a lot of advantage in the ring because people weren't used to fighting southpaws. And I think that was kind of more old school than anything because I know like probably like 50 years ago or whatever, if you were southpaw, they'll change you to orthodox. If you roll with your left hand, they'll make you right with your right hand just because they thought something was wrong with left-handed people. So I feel like it wasn't really that many southpaws, so people didn't really see southpaws a lot. But, you know, with me, I feel like I spar a lot of southpaws in the gym. I didn't fought a lot of southpaws in the amateurs. You know, one term I done had like 4 or 5 southpaws in a row, so I seen a lot of southpaws. I know he switched, it's just me to be, I just got to stay focused and realize, you know, when he switched and when he don't switch because you can get caught in lapses and you get hit with a straight left or you hit with a straight right just because you didn't notice that he switched the stance. So I just got to be on point. I know for him it's natural, him switching back and forth.
Errol, just to follow up on that, because when he turns southpaw, it takes away the other guy's jab. They're orthodox, and you know you're looked at as having the better jab. Is that going to be a big issue for him? Because you're southpaw too, and he doesn't get that angle when he switches like he normally does.
It might be. We'll see, man. We'll see.